Hey, if you're watching this, I assume you've seen the film. If not, go back and watch it, and then proceed. The idea behind the film is to look at how in the Western world we are so detached from the roots of major tragedies happening all over our planet. We'll hear about the Amazon disappearing, for instance, and we probably feel sad, but we're not immediately impacted by it, and so most of us just move on. I wanted to graphically illustrate the numbness of a young man and the horror of an enforced vision painful enough to force the light bulb moment where he connects the dots of his own actions. We then see him take personal responsibility when he turns the machine off and takes out the key. He's a cog in the wheel of destruction he started getting off. But instead of making another factual video on why the end of the world is just around the corner, I wanted to make something with an entertainment factor that hopefully could be powerful enough to push some sort of a reaction from the viewer. I shot this at the beginning of lockdown with my brother starring. Shooting night exteriors on my own wasn't easy and took a lot of long nights to get. There was also quite a lot of moving parts and VFX that had to be timed and coordinated, as well as things I wasn't sure would work, like painting out the seam on the wood and the forest recreation. Yeah, post was a nightmare. I shot on a borrowed pocket cinema camera and used my Rode VideoMic Pro. I wanted lavaliers and boom poles, but they need operators, and so I just had to go with it. Rode obviously did a deal with the devil on this one because the battery life on it's basically indefinite. Like, it never runs out. Ever. The film was made on absolutely no budget, basically using what I had around. The lights, for instance, are just old work lights, strapped to pallets with breeze blocks on them, put on top of a container. And I bought a crazy old Vivitar Series 1 lens. It's a push-pull lens, and completely bizarre, but I think it looks quite nice.
How do you feel about being the main character, Thomas?
No, it's good, mate. It's good. It's I can feel there's a lot of tension in this movie, and yeah.
It's hard on set because you want to focus on story and character and lighting, but then a light blows over, the actor's got a sore back and he's cold, and it starts raining and things get missed and you don't get things the way that you want them to be just because you haven't been able to focus on them. And it makes things hard in post as well, like forgetting to get a clean plate for the lightning flash. Originally the monster was meant to be a friend in a costume, but it was too small and didn't look good, so I had to paint it out and spend 16 hours compositing a new one in, and it's so brief that most people don't even notice it.
King of the jungle. King of the jungle. I have a stand. I have a stand. I'm king of the jungle.
It was quite a challenge shooting at the beginning of lockdown when restrictions were at their tightest, but instead of doing nothing I decided to try and make something anyway. And I think that's the beauty about the competitions like this, is whether it's good or not, you always end up learning something. And hey, if nothing else, I've got the new Windex advert.